Welcome back to the deep dive. So, before we really get into today's material, I want you to just think for a sec about a couple of ideas that sounded, well, pretty ridiculous at first,
Okay.
right? One was this book of inspirational stories. 30 publishers rejected it, called it stupid. And the other, an idea for footless pantyhose sketched out like on cardboard. Every single manufacturer said, nope, that's crazy.
You have to be talking about Chicken Soup for the Soul,
Exactly.
which ended up selling, what, over 100 million copies?
Mm-hmm.
And Sarah Blakely Spanx, now a huge billion-dollar brand.
Right. These stories, they really set up the paradox we're diving into today. Stupid is the new smart.
SATs, yeah. We're looking at why these ideas that seem, foolish or just counterintuitive right out of the gate,
Yeah.
why they often turn into the most brilliant, the most innovative paths forward.
And we should probably be really clear here. This isn't about celebrating like actual bad ideas, right?
No, definitely not. We're not talking about unhealthy, stupid ideas that are just fundamentally flawed or, lack basic common sense.
Okay.
We mean healthy stupid. That gut feeling that goes against the grain. That golden idea that kind of scares you because it's not the usual way of doing things. It's outside the box.
But, I mean, for most people listening, that healthy, stupid idea probably feels terrifyingly close to just, well, failure. How do you actually tell the difference? Is this innovation or am I just being reckless?
That's a great question. And the difference often lies in the why, the deep motivation behind it. The research points to this need for profound urgency to actually commit to one of these stupid ideas. Our sources call it Gavin's Law.
Gavin's Law. And this came from personal tragedy, right?
Mm-hmm.
A really harsh lesson about how short life is, how little control we sometimes have.
Exactly. It teaches that life is short, unpredictable. So what's the core message?
What's the takeaway there?
It's basically a command. Live to start. Start to live. It's this powerful realization that if you hang around waiting for everything to be perfect, for all the stars to align,
You'll wait forever.
you probably will. Waiting just guarantees one thing. You'll have less time later on.
Live to start. That's, wow. It's powerful, but it also sounds kind of intimidating. If we're supposed to just jump on these unconventional ideas, what stops us? What does the research say are the big reasons people don't start?
Yeah, what keeps us stuck in that holding pattern, it often comes down to these sort of external excuses people make. It forms what's called the waiting trap.
The waiting trap.
And we found this described really well, the TEM gap. T-E-M, time, education experience, and money. People basically tell themselves, great idea, but it's for someone else. Someone with more time or more degrees or more cash.
Okay, let's break that down. Time seems like the easiest excuse. Maybe we're all busy.
Oh, absolutely. It's universal.
Mm.
But this is where Parkinson's law just nails it. Work expands so as to fill the time available.
Meaning if you don't block out the time for the dream, other stuff just rushes in to fill the space.
Precisely. Less important tasks, busy work, it just fills every minute. We saw this quote from an executive. Money is easy. Time is hard. That urgency from Gavin's Law kind of hits you again. You aren't the future you waiting to start. You are the now.
Okay, so time's one. What about the E? Education or experience, that feeling of I'm not qualified yet.
Right. I need another degree. I need 5 more years in the industry.
Yeah.
But that belief, well, it can actually stifle creativity. Sometimes being the deep expert makes you less open to totally new approaches.
Interesting.
Yeah, we looked at the story of Anna Hargadon. She had this idea in college, a theater project for kids with autism.
Okay.
Her professors, though, not exactly supportive. They told her basically, you don't have the experience for this.
But she didn't wait?
Nope. She just started. Reached out to people in the field, learned as she went. By the time she graduated college, she'd secured grants, built an independent career. She became the expert because she jumped in, not because she waited for permission.
That's powerful. Okay, so T is time, E is education experience, M is money, the big one.
Definitely feels like the biggest wall for many. If only I had the capital. But think about it. If starting dreams really depended on having a fat bank account, where would all the rags to riches stories come from?
Good point. No Oprah, no J.K. Rowling.
Exactly. Pushing against that financial hardship, it forces resourcefulness. It makes you find clever ways. That's often crucial for actual success.
Right, necessity being the mother of invention. If you have tons of money, you just hire someone. No money, you got to get creative.
You absolutely do. Like Susan Peterson. She wanted to start her leather moccasin business, freshly picked. Zero capital.
So what did she do?
She didn't wait for a bank loan, which is a classic money excuse, right?
Yeah.
Instead, she got permission to collect scrap aluminum window frames from her husband's workplace. recycled them for just enough cash to buy her very first materials.
Wow, just from scrap metal.
Yeah, that kind of scrappy, urgent, low capital start. It let her create a product that eventually got huge. Kourtney Kardashian's kids wore them on magazine covers.
That ingenuity really cuts through the excuses. So the danger of this whole TEM gap, this waiting trap, is what they call the deferred life plan.
Yeah, that's the tragedy. Step 1, do what you have to do. Grind it out. Step 2, then you get to do what you want to do.
But step 2 might never come.
Exactly. The obstacles you were waiting to overcome, they just become your life. The daily grind is the life.
So how do you avoid that trap? There was that test, wasn't there, from Jeff Bezos?
Ah, yes. The Bezos test. It's a great framework. He was thinking about leaving his comfortable Wall Street job to start Amazon. His boss even said, yeah, it's a good idea. But for someone who doesn't already have a good job like yours...
Ouch. So Bezos was facing that exact dilemma, stability versus the stupid idea.
Totally. So he asked himself this one key question to cut through the short-term noise.
Which was?
He asked, when I'm 80 years old, am I going to regret not taking this chance? Not being there at the start of the internet.
Reframing it completely. Not about this year's bonus, but about lifelong regret.
Exactly. It shifts from a short-term financial calculation to a long-term regret analysis. And for him, the answer was crystal clear. He knew he'd regret not trying. So if the answer for you is no, you won't regret it, fine. But if you will regret missing out, gotta move. Okay, so let's say you manage to push past those external excuses, the TEM gap stuff, time, money, experience. You find a way. But the research is pretty clear. The real battle is often internal.
The stuff inside our own heads.
Yeah. The biggest walls we face are usually fear, pride, and procrastination.
Fear seems like the obvious giant, especially with these big, stupid, ambitious ideas. The sources say high aspirations naturally lead to high fear. You can't just wish it away, right?
Right, you can't eliminate it.
Yep.
But you can manage it. The key isn't to wait until you're fearless, because that day might never come.
So how do you stop a truly scary idea from just paralyzing you?
You tackle it incrementally, through what the sources call small wins. You can't just leap from zero fear to total confidence. It doesn't work that way. You have to build tolerance bit by bit.
Like building a muscle.
Kind of, yeah. They use the example of big wave surfer Andy Pierce. He apparently admits big waves totally freak him out.
Even though he surfs them.
Yeah, but he didn't start there. He built up his capacity gradually, started small shore break waves, then head high waves, eventually working his way up to the 20-foot monsters. Each small win, each level conquered, made the next level of fear feel a bit more manageable.
That makes so much sense. It's not about being fearless. It's about doing the small, scary thing anyway until the big, scary thing feels slightly less big and scary.
Precisely. It makes the fear tolerable. Okay, next, internal wall. Pride.
Pride. How does that get in the way?
Well, pride is pretty destructive because it makes us terrified of looking stupid, of failing publicly. It tells you that what other people think getting their approval is more important than actually doing the thing.
And that keeps you playing it safe, sticking to the status quo.
Definitely. If you're rigid, if you're worried about your image, you're absolutely not going to launch some wild, stupid idea. So, the antidote.
How do you beat pride?
You have to embrace vulnerability. The research strongly suggests vulnerability is where innovation, creativity, and real change actually happen. It's about avoiding what they call pride creep.
Pride creep.
Yeah, that's when your initial healthy confidence in your idea slowly morphs into entitlement, or maybe even recklessness, thinking you can't fail.
Okay. And vulnerability connects to abundance thinking.
Right. Pride often fuels scarcity thinking, this belief that there's only so much success to go around, like one pie, and if someone else gets a slice, there's less for you.
Which makes you guarded and competitive.
Exactly. Abundance thinking, on the other hand, opens things up. It sees possibilities, options, creativity everywhere. It lets you launch your idea without constantly fearing that someone else's win is your loss.
That feels lighter, more creative.
It is.
Yeah.
Okay, final internal wall. Procrastination.
Yeah.
That old friend.
The art of putting things off.
Yeah, that counterproductive habit of delaying important stuff. And ironically, procrastinators are often living completely in the now. But it's a now filled with urgent but unimportant tasks just to avoid the big, daunting thing.
So that big goal, that stupid idea, feels overwhelming, impossibly complex. How do you cut through that paralysis?
You use the project strategy.
Project strategy.
You basically take that big, abstract, maybe scary goal, and you break it down into smaller, concrete, manageable projects. Each project needs a clear beginning and end.
So instead of, I need to start a blog, which feels huge.
Right. Instead, you reframe it. You say, okay, right now I'm working on the blog project, or even smaller. This week I'm working on the blog setup project. That simple mental shift, it turns the overwhelming abstract thought into something you can actually tackle. An actionable task.
Okay, the project strategy makes sense. Break it down. But it sounds maybe a little clinical. The research had this amazing counterexample, though. Kane's Arcade.
Oh yeah, Kane's Arcade is perfect.
Yeah. How does a cardboard arcade built by a 9-year-old kid show the power of starting small?
Because it's the ultimate story of a tiny, authentic project leading to completely unexpected, massive results. Kane and Roy, just 9 years old, built this elaborate arcade out of cardboard boxes in his dad's used auto parts shop.
Just for fun, right?
Totally. Pure creativity. Then a filmmaker, Nervin Mullick, stumbled upon it. He was the only customer. He was so charmed, he decided his project would be to organize a surprise flash mob to come and play Kane's games.
So the filmmaker's project was just making a short film to make this kid's day.
Exactly that simple. But that small project, that short film, it went viral online, led to like $60,000 being raised for Kane's college fund. And then they started a whole foundation to help other kids find their creativity.
Wow. That's incredible leverage from such a small start.
That's the perfect word, leverage. It's about maximizing whatever resources you do have, even if it's just cardboard and tape and your dad's shop, to get a bigger result. Kane used ingenuity to completely bypass the TEM gap.
Right. So leveraging what you've got is the core of this new SMART approach, which brings us to those 5 specific actions. The acronym START.
Yeah, START. These are the actions that position you to bypass those hurdles and really connect authentically. First is S for serve.
Serve. How does serving help you start something new?
Service is maybe the most effective way to tackle the TEM gap, especially the ease education and experience. You offer your skills or time for free or cheap. You're learning, gaining experience, building connections, basically risk-free. Think about Gandhi.
Okay.
After that life-changing moment of being thrown off the train in South Africa, how did he start his massive mission? He started by teaching English for free. Service was his entry point.
Okay, that makes sense. S is serve.
T is for thank. Simple gratitude. It sounds basic, but consistently expressing thanks actually brings more good things your way. It boosts happiness, reduces depression. You can't be so tunnel-visioned on your big goal that you forget the people helping you, even in small ways.
Important reminder. Okay, A.
A is for ask. We talked about fear and pride. They often stop us from asking for help, for advice, for resources. But asking is absolutely crucial. You have to ask to receive.
Like that story of the bell captain.
Yeah, Bell Captain Lion. He was working at a hotel, dreaming of being a filmmaker. He somehow got the number for his idol, the producer Jerry Molen.
Who produced huge movies like Jurassic Park.
Right,
Okay.
yeah. Lion just cold called him, asked for advice. That single audacious ask eventually led to mentorship and Lion becoming a producer himself. But when you ask, you got to practice what they call mission matching.
Mission matching.
Make sure the ask benefits the other person too, or at least aligns with their mission. It can't be purely selfish. A fantastic example is Devin Graham, the YouTuber known as Davin's Supertramp.
Oh, yeah. His videos are amazing. Extreme sports stuff.
Exactly. He wanted to make these super high production value videos early on, but obviously didn't have the budget for fancy cameras and gear.
Right. The money gap again.
So what did he do? He approached brands, served, offering to make incredible video content for them for free initially. Why? So he could ask to use their expensive gear, their production resources, their athletes.
Ah, so he leveraged their assets by serving their marketing mission.
Perfectly put. That mission matching built his portfolio, his credibility, and yeah, later it led to a 7-figure income. But it started with serve and ask together.
Brilliant. Okay, STAR?
R is for receive. This one's surprisingly hard for people sometimes. Receiving help, compliments, opportunities.
Harder than giving. Why?
Pride, maybe? Discomfort? Feeling like you don't deserve it? But when an opportunity comes your way, like a lucky break, a Hail Mary pass, as they put it, you have to be open to it. You have to actually catch the ball and run with it. Receiving isn't passive. It's an active transaction. You receive the gift, yes, but you also kind of receive the giver, acknowledging their contribution.
Okay, got to be open to receiving. That leaves the final T.
The second T is for trust. This is huge, especially today. We live in a pretty low-trust world, which makes building genuine connection really valuable, but also feel risky.
So you have to risk trusting people.
The argument is that while trust is risky, being fundamentally distrustful is ultimately riskier for building anything meaningful. You miss opportunities, collaborations. The goal isn't just to build toward trust eventually, but to start from a place of trust. Be trustworthy yourself and be willing to extend trust first. So when you pull it all together, what we've really distilled today is this kind of deep, paradoxical truth, isn't it?
Yeah, it seems like to be truly smart, truly effective, and innovative, you actually have to be willing to look, well, stupid sometimes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That path, the set test path, it means breaking out of that comfortable eggshell, the 10-gap excuses, the internal walls of fear, pride, procrastination. You have to crack it open.
We kicked off with Gavin's Law, live to start to live. And if we layer in these start actions, it becomes more concrete, right?
Yeah, it really does. It's like live to start, live to serve, thank, ask, receive, and trust. When you actively practice those principles, you naturally start bypassing the waiting trap. You accelerate your journey towards doing something meaningful.
So the final challenge then, for everyone listening.
Yeah, the challenge is now yours. What's that stupid idea rattling around in your head? The one you've been afraid to start.
The one you've shoved because of time, money, experience, or maybe just fear or pride.
What is it? Because, Mother Teresa had that quote.
The drop in the ocean.
Yeah. We ourselves feel that what we are doing is just a drop in the ocean. But the ocean would be less because of that missing drop. Your contribution, no matter how small or how stupid it seems to you or anyone else right now, it matters.
Don't let your drop be missing from that ocean of possibility. Start.